I will call the Senate Indian Affairs Committee to order. Good afternoon to everybody. Today, the committee is holding an oversight hearing on the management of irrigation systems throughout Indian country. Irrigation systems are vitally important for economic development on a number of reservations in this country, and often these systems benefit both Indian and non-Indian communities. There are over 100 irrigation systems across Indian country that are owned and managed by the Department of Interior. These systems range in size. The smallest may focus on only a subsistence farming, while some of the larger projects can span tens of thousands of acres. They're critical components for the tribal economies that they serve. Altogether, these irrigation systems reach about 1 billion acres, a billion with a B. A smaller set of revenue-generating irrigation projects make up the bulk of that acreage, and the BI estimates that the projects lead to about $300 million worth of agricultural crops grown each year. While these irrigation projects are important to reservation economies, they have been allowed to deteriorate for decades. In 2006, a GAO study found that these projects had hundreds of millions of dollars in deferred maintenance needs, and I can assure you we have not made much of an investment since 2006. More recent estimates by the BA place the maintenance needs at about $600 million. The GAO study also found some issues with staffing levels, the BIA's communication with the irrigation system stakeholders, and I look forward to hearing about any improvements that the BIA has made on these issues from both our federal and our tribal witnesses. This is not the first time the committee has looked into this issue. Senator Barrasso presided over a field hearing in Wyoming on these issues last Congress, and from reviewing testimony submitted by our witnesses today, it doesn't seem that much has improved. However, I do note that the BIA is taking steps to better assess the unmet needs. Solving the problem is largely an issue of funding, so I'm happy to work with my colleagues to find ways to provide the resources to fix and improve and make these irrigation infrastructure projects functional once again. The Vice Chairman has also expressed interest in this area with provisions he added to the Authorized Rural Projects Completion Act. The bill was reported out of the ENR committee last fall and would address funding for both irrigation maintenance and future tribal water settlements. I want to thank everybody who's going to testify today, especially those who traveled great distances to be here. I appreciate you making that sacrifice. Our tribal witnesses should shed light on how important these irrigation systems are for our communities, and I suspect all of our witnesses today will share ideas on how we can address fixing these irrigation systems as we move forward. Senator Barrasso, as you can see, is not here. When he comes, we will accommodate his opening statement, but for right now, I want to welcome our first witness, Mr. Larry Roberts, who is Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs at the Department of Interior. Mr. Roberts, I will remind you, and well, before we get to you, we have the Honorable Senator from Wyoming here, and I'll kick it over to you, John, for your opening statement.